What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we are reviewing the new Citi Strata Elite Premium Travel Card. I know this came out in the summer. I wanted to wait till the dust settles to see where this card went and if people were still talking about it a few months after it was released. So this premium travel card comes with a $595 annual fee, which can be discounted by $145 if you have a Citi Gold relationship, which means you have over $200,000 with Citi in investments. The sign-up bonus is $80,000 thank you points after $4,000 spent after the first 3 months. For earnings rates on this card, you're going to earn 12 points per dollar spent on hotels and rental cars booked through the Citi Travel Portal, 6 points per dollar spent on airfare booked through the Citi Travel Portal, 6 points per dollar spent on restaurants on Citi nights, which is Friday and Saturday nights from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 3 points per dollar spent on restaurants all other times, and then 1 point per dollar spent everywhere else. For the benefits of this card, it comes with a decent amount, a $200 Black Lane credit, which is $100 biannually. You're gonna get Priority Pass, you're gonna get a Global Entry credit, you're gonna get a $200 Splurge credit, which can be used at First Dibs, American Airlines, Best Buy, Future Personal Training, and Live Nation. You're gonna get a $300 annual hotel benefit when you book through the Citi Travel Portal, 4 Admiral Club passes, no foreign transaction fees, and some travel and trip purchase protections. So what is this card worth when it comes down to just the basic credits you get year after year? First things first, the $595 annual fee up on the top right hand corner of the screen. And we're not going to take into account your Citi Gold relationship status. If you do have that, you can reduce that down by $145. The first credit is the Black Lane credit. And to be honest with you, I've never heard of this company until this card came out. It is like a Uber or Lyft, but it is more expensive and it is, I guess, a scheduled ride. And from what I could find, normal rides on this cost $100 to $150 depending on where you're traveling to and where you're at. So is this card valuable? So in my personal opinion, I think using Uber or Lyft probably is going to be cheaper. Sure, you have the $100 biannual credits, but at the same time your Uber might be $30, your Lyft might be $15. You're paying $100 to $150 for this. Even if you have a credit, you're still $0 to $50. You could be paying more for this ride than Uber or Lyft on the same ride. I do think this could be useful though, as in Europe, you don't have much of Uber and Lyft, and getting a private taxi is sometimes the best way to get to the airport, especially a lot of the times it is expensive already. But using that $100 credit, it can be worth it. So in total, I'm going to give it a $100 value out of the $200 because I think you could use it once a year. Next up is the Splurge credit. This should be pretty easy to use. It's got American Airlines, Live Nation, Best Buy. You spend $200 with them a year, you should be able to get this credit. Easy $200 value there. Then you have the $300 hotel credit booked through Citi Travel. This one's a little bit different than the other hotel credits with Amex and Chase. You actually get it discounted off your total when you book through their travel portal, so you'll get like a discount code that shows $300 off. It won't come up as a statement credit. And from what I've been looking at and what I've been hearing, Citi Travel Portal actually offers some pretty decent rates and competitive rates with booking directly, so they're not hosing you like Amex and Chase does sometimes, so you're going to get actually good value out of this credit, and I would give it the full $300 in value. Lastly, you do have those 4 one-time Admiral Club passes. When you purchase one-time passes for Admiral Clubs, they are $79 each for a $316 in value total. I think this value is totally up to how you use them, but if you do live in a Charlotte, Philadelphia, Dallas, or Miami area where you do have Admirals Clubs or you travel through Admirals Clubs a lot, this could be a value because it just saves you some money. But then again, if you are looking to get Admirals Club, why don't you just go to the American Airlines card? This only allows you to earn a little bit better, more flexible points. So in total, you're at $916 when you count those 4 Admiral Club passes, and that is above the $595 annual fee, which is great. So you are $321 ahead, but maybe you don't use those Admiral Club passes, you're only $5 ahead. So moving on to redemptions for this card, and I was pretty excited to actually do redemptions for this card because I'm going to do something I usually don't have to. I haven't had to really do a lot of American Airlines redemptions because there's not many ways to redeem with American Airlines except through their own cards or earning their points. That being said, when this card was released, you are now allowed to transfer 1-to-1 points, Citi thank you points, to American Airlines miles, which means you can redeem with American. So I figured I'd find some sweet spots and show you guys those. And our first sweet spot is going to be Rome to Perth, Australia, and this is going to be a little bit a different itinerary. It's not going to be a one stop. You're actually going to have 2 stops. You're going to be flying from Rome to Jordan to Doha to Perth. But either way, this one way in business class is 85,000 miles and about 117 bucks in taxes and fees. Overall, it's a pretty good value for your points and really cool to see how you can fly 2 different airlines by booking through American. Next up, you got actually a really solid redemption. I'm not sure how many viewers are out in Southeast Asia a lot, but say you are traveling from Singapore and you need to get to Fiji. By far one of the best redemptions I've seen. A 40,000 point business class ticket plus $50 in tax and fees, which is low, for a 10-hour flight from Singapore to Fiji. This is on Fiji Airways, so it's not going to be your Emirates, but it's 40,000 points for a 10-hour flight in business class. In terms of points to hours, I've not seen a better redemption so far, and if you do have to take this route, I definitely would recommend booking with points. Last but not least, I figured I'd show a first class award redemption through Qatar Airways. This is an interesting route. You're going to be flying from Sydney all the way to Abu Dhabi, so you're not going to be stopping in Qatar. You're going to be taking a little bit more of a flight back down to the United Arab Emirates. But with this, you're going to be flying that first class suite on Qatar Airways for 100,000 miles and about 118 bucks. And you'll be getting that first class treatment from Sydney, Australia to Doha, and then Doha to one of the smaller airports around Abu Dhabi. So now that this card has been out, what are my thoughts and who is this card for? Well, this card had some pretty high expectations. I think it nailed some of it, but it's not related to the card really. The first thing that it nailed, you get 1-to-1 point transfers to American Airlines. That's great. If you have Citi points, get them over to this card, get them over to American Airlines. That's going to be your best way to redeem your Citi points. There are a lot of other ways to redeem your Citi points, and I do think it's one of the best programs out there now in terms of transfer points, but you do have to deal with their customer service. But then moving back to the card, you do have I guess, very high expectations on this card to see what they were going to do, especially after the Citi Strata premieres. Pretty good card. This card, it is not the best. A $595 annual fee and your sign-up bonus is only 80,000 points. Sure, you got earnings rates of 12 and 6 points per dollar spent in the travel portal, 6 points per dollar spent on dining a certain time, and a 1 point per dollar spent multiplier on everything else. Those are good, but they're not great because you have to book through the travel portal and you don't have a basic travel cost multiplier, so you're only earning 1 point per dollar spent on any travel booked outside of Citi. And you have those credits, which they barely get you back to the annual fee, and that's assuming you do use the black lane at least once. The splurge credit and the $300 travel port credit are easy to use, but that doesn't get you past the annual fee. You can't count on the Admirals Club getting you that full value. And when they advertise for this card, they say you get over $1,500 in value, but most of that value comes from those 4 Admiral Club classes and the priority pass they give you, which is just the same priority pass Chase and Amex gives you. Overall, the card doesn't have a lot of value when it comes to credits. When I think of this card and the credits it comes with, I would think the card to actually be around $400 for an annual fee. The $595 annual fee, it just doesn't feel like it delivers a lot of value. There are standout perks though, like I mentioned, the 1-to-1 ratio to American Airlines, the 1.5 points per dollar spent multiplier baseline for all purchases that could be turned into American Airlines miles, and the high travel portal multipliers. Do I think they could have done a better job? Yeah, they definitely could. The black lane credit, that could have been turned into a just basic rideshare credit. The splurge credit, it's super easy to use. The hotel credit is super easy to use, but their focus with this card is for you to book through their travel portal, and if you're not booking through their travel portal, I wouldn't get this card. And that being said, who is this card for? Like I mentioned before, it's for those that book through the travel portal. If you book through the travel portal, you're going to get a high point multiplier, which then you can turn into American Airlines miles, take advantage of that $300 travel credit, take advantage of the splurge credit. Doing all those things will make this card worth it. And then again, if you love American Airlines, it's a much better earning multiplier than it is than booking with an American Airlines credit card. This card heavily relies on the travel portal, and if you're not going to use the travel portal, I don't think it's worth getting, especially because the sign-up bonus is only 80,000 points. All the other high-end travel cards we see from Chase Chase is 100, 125, Amex 100 to 175. Thus 80,000 points is low, and sure, the annual fee is not as high, but you don't deliver as many credits as the other cards do, and you also have bad customer service here. The card doesn't feel 100% premium. The card is just based around that travel portal, and if you don't use it, I wouldn't recommend getting this card. But overall, what do you think? What do you think of the high annual fee? What do you think as a transfer partner to American Airlines? What do you think of the Black Lane credit? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.